should TikTok be banned?
Let us stand together, unified in our pursuit for freedom.
Freedom must be armed better than tyranny.
When the history books are written, the central story of our time will be the battle between democracy and autocracy.
The way to avoid confrontation with Russia in the future is to help Ukraine push back the invader now.
Freedom is the strongest force of mankind. The 6th annual Copenhagen Democracy Summit is over now, and it's been a great success. More than 600 participants from more than 80 countries, and a lot of democracy activists from countries where they are living under dictatorship: Iran, Afghanistan, Belarus. So it's been a great success to gather all those people, political leaders, business leaders, democracy activists, to discuss how we can enhance our countering of the advancing autocracies.
We gather here to celebrate those fighting for freedom and democracy under the banner, "Dictators need not apply."
Democracy is like air for a free and healthy society. We don't notice it or think about it until it is gone, and by then our free and open society is dead.
Це питання, а чий буде світ? Відповідь на це запитання або дамо ми з вами демократії світу, або демократія програє.
Dictators cannot be appeased and cannot be re-educated.
We have to give a signal to Russia that you can't win and you can't break the will of the Ukrainians either.
If NATO allies, and especially, of course, the big ones, starts to issue security guarantees bilaterally to Ukraine, we are very close to Article 5.
As a citizen of Russia, I have to say that I'm absolutely ashamed and I feel the pain for Ukraine. And though I have never supported Putin, my father was killed because of his criticism towards Putin, I still feel not only responsibility, but also guilt. And that's why I hope that Ukraine will win very soon. Thank you.
Ukraine reminds us that freedom cannot ever be taken for granted. It is something worth fighting for, as long as it takes.
If China were to invade Taiwan, how many countries, the people in those countries would favor cutting ties with China? And the answer here was quite interesting, because there are more countries than even in favor of cutting ties with Russia who would be in favor of cutting ties with China, most notably some Latin American countries, and then India and Iran, and then of course countries that are not in favor of cutting ties, most notably maybe Russia.
It's fair to say that China has fundamentally different strategic interests from ours. Chinese society is based on fundamentally different values than ours, and China in that respect is not seeking equal cooperation with equal partners, but it's seeking a global dominance.
Taiwan has stood on the front line of this authoritarian challenge for the past decades. However, our commitment to democracy has never been stronger.
And we need to remember what Beijing is trying to do. They are trying to reduce the space that Taiwan has to operate. They're trying to reinterpret the One China policy as the idea that nobody in any Western democracy should have any engagement at all with Taiwan.
As Xi Jinping shakes hands with Vladimir Putin, we see these dictators forming their autocratic regime, their alliance, to further encroach on our valued, on our hard-fought democracy and freedoms.
Of course, we have seen how technology can be used, and actually is being used very effectively by autocrats to have a hold to power.
People with strong ability to adopt tech and strong enterprises are just going to lurch forward. Enterprises, governments, and those that are resistant, parochial, only want to buy these things from their buddy, their friend, their own country, are really going to suffer.
Artificial intelligence is helpful. It can't replace humans, but it can help humans to be better in defending our democracy. And this is what we are trying to do with this Defense of Democracy package.
If we can't get the social media impact on democracy under some level of control that we're comfortable with, the AI system makes it much, much worse because of targeting and misinformation. And that is my primary concern for you all. It's an alliance of democracies. We care a lot about democracy. It's at threat.
Unfortunately, Uganda is under the rule of General Yoweri Museveni, a military dictator who's been ruling our country for 37 years. I am the guy trying to stop that together with my friends.
One day everything is gonna be fine. Everything gonna be fine. Someday everything will be alright. Everything gonna be fine. I say everything is gonna be fine.